Yo, what's up guys, welcome to my humble YouTube channel where I bring you fanfiction that will brighten your days. Before we start, a subscribe is greatly appreciated, and don't forget to leave a like and ring the bell icon so you won't miss exciting new fanfiction stories. Two Worlds Meet. One Punch Man X Tensura, by blackrockshooter5000. Chapter 5, Saitama vs. Carrera. Whoosh, swoosh. The wind howled, creating an atmosphere charged with tension. A weighty anticipation hung in the air, with both individuals locking eyes, each harboring distinct thoughts about the impending moment. He's always a mystery with that expressionless face, but I'm still getting excited, she mused. Damn it, thanks to rain. No decent meal this morning. What should I go for at lunch? He pondered, a hint of irritation in his thoughts. Far away, on a distant cliff, onlookers contemplated the upcoming duel, speculating on the likely victor. Some even set up tables and chairs, savoring the spectacle as if attending a theater performance. Time to test our theory, Seal, Rimuru declared. Can't wait to see what happens, Master, Seal replied, her excitement evident. Guy folded his arms, smirking. Time to see what Saitama is really about, he thought to himself. Milam indulged in chips, contemplating, this is gonna be fun to watch. Veldora cheered internally. Come on, Saitama, impress everyone here. Show them you're the real deal. Velzard eagerly anticipated. Era, I finally get to see what that human can do. Don't disappoint me now. Veldrin's 30% parallel existence considered. I wonder what abilities he has. If he becomes a threat to Masayuki, I'll have to take countermeasures. Diablo mused, he doesn't even have his guard up. Hope you live up to our expectations. Testarossa chuckled. Foolish little Carrera sure is excited. Ultima observed, damn, Saitama-san has the best poker face ever. Genis thought bitterly, I'm not worried about Master, but this is a good chance to see what Carrera can do. Milam said I couldn't even scratch her in a fight. Alright, human, show me what you can do, Feldway muttered. Michael remained silent, watching intently at the two. Dino lay his head on a table, Pico and Gracia sitting nearby. Zalerio and Obera stood behind Milam, their expressions calculating and serious. Battle start now. After a brief, intense gaze, Carrera's battle lust surged, causing her to propel herself at incredible speeds towards Saitama. The wind sliced as she charged, aiming her sword at the bald hero. Saitama, in response, swiftly caught the blade between his thumb and index finger, leaving the blonde demoness dumbfounded. She then pulled herself back, taking another right cross swing. This time, Saitama skillfully dodged by stepping back. Closing the distance, Carrera thrusted her sword forward at his face, but the hero leaned to the left, evading the strike. Large amounts of dust and craters formed from the aftershocks of Carrera's attacks. But thanks to the multidimensional barriers, the powerful blows were contained. Without them, the planet would have suffered greatly, by this point. After her failed attack, the blonde redirected her sword toward Saitama's dodged position, but he ducked, only to face her right foot hurtling toward his face. Leaning back and jumping into the air, he narrowly avoided the attack. As Saitama soared, Carrera countered with nuclear magic, shooting multiple attacks at the bald hero. He saw the attacks fly his way, managing to avoid every shot. Afterwards, he looked down at her location, noticing that her sword had transformed into a golden gun. That's kinda cool, Saitama remarked, observing the golden weapon with a smile. Ha ha ha, yeah, praise me more, human, Carrera responded arrogantly, receiving only a blank stare from Saitama. His eyes widened slightly as multiple nuclear magic shots erupted from her gun. The barrier absorbed the attacks, causing large explosions. Undeterred, Carrera pursued Saitama, who continued to dodge her onslaught. Closing in, she transformed her golden gun back into a blade and aimed for an overhead strike. To her surprise, Saitama effortlessly caught the weapon with his bare hand. The spectators pawed. Look at Carrera go. Haven't seen her this fired up in a while. And Saitama is living up to all the praise, Milam, Guy commented, directing the last statement at Milam. Hearing this, Milam, in the midst of enjoying her meal, nodded with a satisfied smile, replying, ha ha ha, of course he is. What he's showing right now, though, is nothing. Just you wait. Guy's smile widened at her response. Ha ha ha, Why, of course. I expect nothing less from my sacred texts. Reading buddy, Veldora declared confidently. While the fight unfolded, Rimuru wasn't solely focused on the spectacle. Despite finding it entertaining, the core reason both he and Seal wanted to witness the fight wasn't just for the display before them. Seal, it looks like your predictions were right, of course, it was Master. Now, let's see if Carrera notices. Agreed. I'm pretty sure the others will realize it soon too. How was he able to catch Carrera's sword with his bare hands? That's a mythical grade weapon? Rain asked, clearly shocked. Because Saitama himself is the equivalent of a mythical grade weapon. In both defense and offense. Midray can do it too, by increasing his aura in his hand, although it's difficult for him. Saitama's aura, on the other hand, always surrounds him subconsciously. It's as natural to him as breathing, Milam explained, her eyes revealing the presence of Saitama's aura. Hearing this shocked a majority of them, finding the idea seemingly insane. However, coming from Milam, it made perfect sense, especially given her familiarity with Midray's abilities. Era, is that so? Velzard remarked. Fu, I'll admit, even I'm surprised by Saitama Dono's strength, Diablo stated. Well, color me impressed, Testarossa praised. Unbelievable. I don't stand a chance against Carrera, Genos muttered to himself, a mix of nervousness and frustration. After Milam's revelation, everyone focused more intensely on Saitama and the ongoing fight. Even Dino paid heightened attention. Notably, individuals like Milam, Guy, Velzard, Feldway, Michael, 30% Velgrand parallel existence, Veldora, Diablo, Testarossa, Ultima, Zelario, and Obera began to notice what Rimuru and Seal were testing out. Back to the fight, Saitama's effortless catch of Carrera's mythical grade blade left her surprised. How were you able to catch my blade? She questioned, seeking an explanation. Saitama raised a brow, clearly confused. By just catching it. No, there has to be more to it. You can't breeze past that like it ain't a big deal. A mythical grade weapon is named as such because it's a myth to most people, imbued with godly powers, Carrera tried to explain. The way I see it is, I myself am the weapon, Saitama retorted. Is that so? Carrera was genuinely unsure how to react. However, her shock quickly faded as her power continued to grow. She took notice and just shrugged. Summoning both her gun and sword, she adopted a different fighting stance, ready for the second stage of the fight. I'm really enjoying myself, so make me feel good, she declared loudly. Okay. After their exchange, Carrera began to fight with a style reminiscent of someone from her past, Kondu, one of the 8 digits in Rudra's army who had granted her his powers. Her elegant movements suggested a mastery that seemed ingrained over a long period. In stark contrast, Saitama moved like an amateur, showcasing raw and destructive force without finesse. Carrera, noticing the difference, grew more excited. However, her enthusiasm blinded her to the fact that her power was increasing at an unnatural rate. Saitama-kun, you're like if Kondu had no technique in his moves, wasn't serious all the time, and oblivious to most things around him. Kinda how I was before I met Milord Rimuru. Thinking to herself, Carrera sported a toothy smile with a light blush. While firing blasts from her gun with her left hand, she swung her sword with her right when she closed in on Saitama. That was a close one. My clothes could get destroyed by those blasts she's firing off, Saitama remarked to himself. The blonde eventually caught Saitama in a triangle, wrapping her thighs around his head and flipping the bald hero to the ground. The two became a blur to some as Saitama hurtled at near light speed, creating a massive hole in the ground. Carrera, aware that Saitama wouldn't be done by such an attack, floated in the sky, waiting for him to reappear. Saitama lay in the rubble for a moment before getting up, making a serious expression as he looked back at Carrera. My turn. After Saitama says this, he would appear in front of Carrera surprising her. He'd then say, Saitama. Double consecutive normal punches. When he shouted this with a monotone voice, a magnitude of punches were thrown Carrera's way. She had to block from how fast the punches were coming at her. Yeah, that's it, Saitama. Let's have fun, she yelled while taking the onslaught of Saitama's punches blowing her back. Her arms and anything else that were hit, would heal after some time. Saitama would then appear behind her, punching her to the ground. He then landed a few meters away as she laid in the crater that formed from the impact. She then started laughing as she rolled on the ground towards Saitama, picking herself up and pointing the tip of her sword at his face. Ha ha ha, that's it Saitama-kun, keep making me feel good. Wow, you're actually still standing after that. Ha 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 ha, of course I am. Saitama would stare at Carrera with a thoughtful expression. He then used the same attack again. The former would go on the defensive again, but as she did, Saitama's attacks were becoming slower, her eyes wide. At this, and soon would counter Saitama's attacks with her own. Kicking Saitama in the stomach, launching him back. She quickly gave chase and started unloading attack after attack on him. If it wasn't for the multi-dimensional barriers, the world would have been destroyed 10 times over from the fight. The spectator's POV underscore looks like Carrera power-up is now noticeable now. Underscore it would seem so. Underscore what did you call it again, Seal? Underscore resonance and amplification. Saitama's power boosts Carrera's because their soul is compatible with one another. Underscore I wonder if everyone else is gonna catch on to what's going on. Underscore Carrera is getting stronger and faster than she should have. Foo. So this is what Lord Rimuru wanted to test. Diablo observed. I see what you're doing now, Lord Rimuru. Testarossa quickly caught on as well. Hey, she's leaving us in the dust, with an insane jump in power like that. Ultima said, frustrated. Now, we'll just have to get stronger our own way. Testarossa told her. That's right, unless you're telling us that you can't keep up. How sad. Diablo taunted. Shut it. I can keep up, just you watch, she argued back. While those three were bickering, Feldway and Michael were having a conversation with each other. That human is increasing that demon's power, Michael said. It would seem so. But why? Sure, it's natural for a person to improve in battle, but at the rate she's improving is unnatural. Feldway shot back. Agreed, there must be something more to it, the Manas responded. Milam, using the power of her eyes, noticed how both Saitama's and Carrera auras interacted with each other. Interesting, very interesting, she would say in a low tone. A smile spread across her face. The fight? Come on Saitama-kun, show me more of your power. The battle maniac yelled, flying towards him. Saitama would then say something to Carrera, something that she didn't expect at all. Launch your strongest attack at me. Silence. Silence was the only thing that Saitama was met with. What? I said launch your strongest attack at me. You love fighting, right? Then you want to go all out and enjoy it. Well then, do just that. Hearing this stunned Carrera. Her smile gone from her face, as she was in deep thought. Most of the time, people would try to suppress my destructive powers. When I unlocked my ultimate skill fighting Kondu, I asked him if I could use it, and he denied me. And yet, here you are telling me to do so, with no hint of fear. In fact, all I see in your eyes is determination. Bump. Did my heart just skip a few beats? The fuck? Carrera would ignore this and look up at Saitama, a big psychic smile plastering her face. Saitama-kun, are you being serious? She would ask in a low and serious tone. Yep. As soon as he replied with, yep, almost all reason left Carrera as she launched herself into the air, and charged up her ultimate skill, Extinction King Abaddon. Ha, alright then, take this. You better not get one-shotted like Kondou. Saitama just stood there with the same determined serious look on his face. Carrera, seeing this, was getting an absolute rush. Before she could launch the attack, however, her attack would disappear inside of a portal, while a voice behind her says, that's enough. What seemed to be a black hole appeared, someone coming out of it.